Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Oh, come on now, come on now. I need y'all to do a little better than that. I need you to come all the way from your bottom. I need you to think it like Drake said. We started from the bottom, now we here. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Great, great, great. Okay, I'm Jarvis Jones, and today I'm going to be your guest speaker. And I got two things that I want to help you guys do. The first thing I want to help you guys do is improve your performance, right? And so the second thing I want to do, I want to help you guys maximize your potential because I want to help you guys get to that next level.
Okay.
All right. And so before we can do any of those two things, I first want to help you guys. Well, no, I'm sorry. I first have to let you guys know that we have to be interactive. That's a key to what we have to accomplish today, right? And so after we become interactive with one another, then we must be transparent. I have to be honest with you guys. I'm not here to just give you a false hope about life. I'm here to keep it real, right? So I have to pose a question now. Have you guys ever been in a situation where if you put in the work, you studied, you anticipated getting a great grade, and you didn't get the results you were expecting?
Yes.
Could you explain that for me, please?
Well, I took a test before and I studied all night and I didn't pass it. I actually made an F on it and I just felt like I overthought it. And at the end, I didn't want to try it anymore and felt like a failure.
Okay. I understand exactly what you mean because in 2008, I sat in front of a judge. I stood in the courtroom. The judge looked at me and he said, "We hereby sentence you, Jarvis Jones, to 15 years for simple armed robbery." Now, it wasn't in that moment that what I had did set in. Like, it took me a little while to get back to my cell and to be like, oh, wow. It dawned on me a few months later that the next 15 years of my life, I was going to be sitting behind some bars. Like, I felt like a failure. Like, I let everyone down. I let my mom down. I let my grandma down. I let my dad down. Like, I let everybody down because there was so many people depending on me, so many people counting on me to go out here and put myself in a position to be successful, but I wound up being a failure. But it wasn't until I sat down on my prison and I'm on my rack and I'm thinking and I'm thinking and I'm thinking, and I figured out that I wasn't actually in jail for simple armed robbery. I was in jail for the emotional pain that was going on in my childhood that I decided to never address because if I addressed it, I didn't think anyone would hear what I was saying. But all along on the inside, there was this little boy crying for his daddy, saying, "Daddy, please, please, I need you in my life." But daddy wasn't there. So I had to depend on my brother. But he didn't have a dad. And so by him not having a dad, it was like the blind leading the blind. So you got one hurt person depending on another hurt person. And in the mix of it, you got two hurt people making bad decisions. And those decisions led us both into prison. Like I got 15 years and my brother got 15 years. Like we were both hurting. And they tell us, yo, this society, they tell us to keep our emotions bottled in. They tell us a man ain't supposed to cry. They tell us have tough skin, suck it up. But see, when you don't address and you don't acknowledge what's going on the inside of you, see, it's a spillover effect. And what happens is, like, you start, the stuff that you're not addressing, it starts to seep out in other areas of your life. And when it starts to seep out in other areas of your life, you start to lose control. And when you lose control, you start to make bad choices. And your bad choices give you bad consequences. And see, it wasn't until I was just sitting in my cell one day and I told myself, I said, either you're going to keep on making these bad choices or you're going to do something about it. See, up until this point, I had saw my situation as a bad thing. I saw myself as a failure. But on the other side of failure is what they like to call success. And see, at that moment, I didn't know. But as I sat down and I was thinking, I said, hey, it's time to stop feeling sorry for yourself. You got to face everything and rise. You hear what I said? You face everything and rise. So when you facing everything and rise, like no one's saying this is gonna be it's gonna be a perfect storm. No one's saying it's not gonna be hard. No one's saying no one's saying that what you're encountering is gonna make you give. We're not saying that. What we are saying is, in spite of everything that we're facing, we're still gonna rise. In spite of everything that we're going through, we're still going to rise. No matter how bad the situation is, we're still going to rise, right? And so when I switched my mentality and I said, we're going to face everything and rise, it was a paradigm shift. And in that paradigm shift, I started to read and I started to educate myself and I started to cultivate myself and I started developing so many different ways and so many different areas that I didn't think the same anymore, right? That pain that I once felt, I used that pain, right? That pain when I was fighting for acceptance, that pain when I wanted to fit in with everybody. I said, you know what? Let me use that pain. Stop letting your pain use you. And you use that pain. And when you use that pain, it propels and it gives you the strength to go on. Ali once said, Ali once made the statement that said, I only count my sit-ups when they start to hurt. See, there's something in hurt and pain, physical pain, right? It's something in that physical pain that gives you a strength, that gives you an extra boost, that gives you the courage, that gives you the fight, that gives you the will to want to keep moving forward. There's something in all of that that gives you the strength, the internal fortitude that you're going to need in order to be successful. And when I got all of those things in me, I started to go to school. See, when I was in school, I thought it was smart to be dumb and dumb to be smart. But see, when I got in prison, I said, you know what? When I switched my mindset, I switched my mentality, I wanted to go to school. I didn't want to be a class clown. I wanted to be in the front of the class because I knew at that moment I had everything in me that it took to be great, but now I wanted to apply it. See, there's a difference when you have what it takes and you apply it, as opposed to when you have what it takes and you don't apply it. See, when I was in prison, I learned that every situation was a situation or opportunity to become great. And I started to apply those things and I started to learn and I started to build my character up. And I said, oh, maybe, just maybe, once I get from behind these walls, I don't have to let my situation dictate my circumstances, right? Just maybe I can go on and accomplish something in my life. Just maybe if I fight hard enough, just maybe if I fight long enough, I can get in this thing and win. See, I learned a long time ago that 25% of lions actually die and on the verge of the come up, right? So the thing is about the lion, the 25% that actually survive, they go through a rigorous process. They go through learning. They learn how to climb. They learn how to fight. They learn how to kill. They learn how to feed. But see, the thing is, at 2 years old, they try and take over another tribe. And when they take over another tribe, most succumb to death. Right? And so I was in this same situation. Like I'm in a life and death situation because this is my life I'm talking about. Like this isn't a game. This is something serious to me. And I take it personal. So I had to take this same mentality, that lion mentality, and I had to take it on the other side when I got out of these walls. And when I got out, I enrolled in school. And I had that lion mentality. I was going to conquer everything that stepped foot in my way. In the classroom, I was going to conquer it. Life itself, I was going to conquer it. Because at that moment, I knew that I had to face everything and rise. And I'm not saying you're going to come across situations that's not going to challenge you. I'm not saying you're not going to come across those situations that's not going to make you quit. But I'm telling you this. When you come across those situations, face everything and rise. Don't be a prisoner of the moment. I need you to face it and I need you to attack it with everything you have on the inside of you. And when you attack it like no other, I'm not gonna guarantee that you're not gonna come out on top, but I will guarantee you that if you fall, you will get back up because you have that internal fortitude that's gonna propel you to the next level. I'm Jay Jones Speaks, and I wrote a quote that said, "Don't let circumstances dictate your chance," and that's my time.